It's my pleasure to welcome you today in this Czech Taiwanese meetup with subtitled Taiwanese Goes to CEE region, and we probably will help them. It will be amazing to Czech Republic participate on that. The last year was for all of us a really challenging and really transforming and very accelerating in so many fields and mostly in the field of technologies. On the table comes more frequently at topics like healthcare and environment, security, data mining, and all that stuff. And another thing that happened last year, it was a trip of the Czech Taiwanese Business Chamber and to Taiwan, to Taipei. And when I talked with Pavel Diviš about the trip, it was really amazing to hear how the Taiwan side, how in Taiwan they support the startup environment and ecosystem. And this today event is maybe another step to more closely collaboration with the Taiwan side. And the agenda for today is we have several very inspiring people from the Czech Republic, their presentation about their approach in the startup field. And after that, we have a short break for Q&As, and we will pass the ball to the Taiwan side and hear how is they approach it and how they support and develop startups. And after that, we will have some informal lunch here physically after 1 year meeting physically in this place, a lovely place, Opera. So I would like to invite, I mostly say on stage, but this is on the digital stage, Beáta Vörösová, Director of Startup Department in the CzechInvest. Probably in the Czech side, we all know what CzechInvest does. For the foreigners, it's subordinate to the Ministry of Industry and Trade in Czech Republic. It was founded in 92, and the main goal of CzechInvest is to transform the Czech Republic into an innovation leader in Europe. Beáta, it's yours.
Thank you for the kind words. And good morning, everybody. Good morning in all around the world. I believe that for you it's good afternoon, maybe. Let's see what startups and innovation support by CzechInvest and in Czech Republic means. And I can introduce you shortly after that some of our activities, what we can do for startups in Czech Republic and also for the startups abroad. So I hope all is fine. You see my presentation and everything is clear. If not, please give me some sign. Let's begin to introduce a little bit our environment. I think I can proudly say Czech Republic is a really good place to do business, to do startup business in Europe. I would say that we have a really friendly environment. Of course, there are some obstacles or some space for development as always. But it's nice to say that we are a really good place in the terms of, for example, sixth in the best business cost, which means that establish a company in Czech Republic is not quite expensive. There is a great ranking for us in many areas of business. So I would say that the Czech environment is really friendly for business, startups and non-startups as well in Europe. As we can see that we are focusing as all the world in the technological development. So our focus is mainly in the high tech data industry. of course, all the big buzzwords that we are all known as cybersecurity, big data, AI, fintech, IoT, and e-commerce is known in our startup and innovation ecosystem. What does that mean? That we have some environment? We can say that the number of ICT companies in the Czech Republic is huge for such a Czech Republic, for such a small country in the world. We have a really strong background in these fields. We have strong companies that proved even globally. So the sector, as the numbers are saying, is really strong, and in total, it means that it's a really good environment to develop new ideas, to innovate in new fields, which means that for 10 million citizens in Czech Republic, we have 1,000 startups approximately in Czech Republic currently. We have also now a great history of startup success in Czech Republic. There are companies that succeeded in Czech Republic and in global world as well. You may know some of them. I believe Product Board is a name. It could ring a bell with you. Kiwi.com, the search engine for flight tickets and logistics in this industry as well. I believe that Avast as a cybersecurity antivirus system could also sound familiar for you, or from another field. Just not to mention all the time only this this field from 3D printing. We have a really good, fantastic success from Prussia research company. Let's continue to see how the ecosystem is developing on the side of the investment, because of course all this innovation needs some kind of fuel, mainly not just the excitement and not just the great ideas, but also the capital. If we see how we are in some kind of ranking in investment, we see that there is a place to go forward, of course. In the other hand, I would say personally that the Czech investment ecosystem is really strong and developed, highly tech oriented, and I do believe that even the future is brighter and brighter in this area for the startups and the investors as well. So the ecosystem is also really present with a support system, with incubators, accelerators, co-working spaces, companies that are sharing their knowledge, their know-how, they equipment. They are connecting these kind of small innovative disruptive entities. So as you can see, the page is busy. We have many entities here that live for the message to create innovation and have a space for startups and innovative companies in all around Czech Republic in many fields. We are also busy in showing up, as you can see. Just to mention the few biggest startup events and innovation events like Startup World Cup and Summit, Web Expo, Future Prague, etc. I think that even despite all the things that they're happening in the world or happened in the world, hoping that the next year is going to be more connected, even physically. But I have to say that even 2020 was fantastic and busy in startup events, and showed that we can stay connected in these times as well. So, and after I said a few words about the ecosystem and how Czech Republic is doing in this theme, I would like to talk about a little bit ourselves, but not ourselves in the perspective of CzechInvest, but through the client and what we can do for them. What we can do for clients is support them through several stages of their development. You can see that mostly for every stage of the startup development phase, we have some kind of support system for them. We have an incubation center these days for space technologies, and we are also currently opening and complete hub system and business incubation system for 7 fields, and all of them are gonna incubate in total 300 startups in an upcoming 5 years. After the incubation phase, we can step into the field and bring startups the knowledge and some kind of other connections and support how to succeed in the business field. As far as I'm concerned, the most problematic phase is when the product is finally, let's say, ready, but the world is still a really hostile place. And especially when you target not just your home country, but you want to succeed globally. So we have for them programs, shorter, longer periods. We are giving a big number of mentors and specialists from many fields for the startups. We are helping them to reach global goals. They can travel with us to meet their customers, their investors, their partners in abroad. We are making matchmaking events in US and also in Asia and London currently. And our highest program is a 3-month acceleration program abroad. You can go with us in London, New York, Silicon Valley, and Singapore to establish your business abroad, to meet your customer, and to meet the local real market and develop the product the way that it can succeed globally. We are also working in the field of investment. We are not investing ourselves, but we have a strong basis of investors. We are connecting startups and investors, and it seems that this is something it's really needed to bring together these two sides. Not only VCs, but also angel investors, corporates that they have intention to fund some startups or to find new innovations and cooperate with them. Okay, let's see some numbers just to see what does that mean if CzechInvest says we support startups. In 3 years, we reached out to approximately 150 startups, and many of them are continuing to cooperate with us long term. The data is for 2019. Currently, we are scraping the data for 2020. I could say this is something about definitely above 200. So yearly, let's say we are supporting 50 startups. 5 startups per month are reaching with us their goal to meet the foreign market. So we are traveling with them abroad, and and these numbers are just getting higher and higher. CzechInvest is the most interesting and strongest currently in helping the startups reach the global market. We are focusing not only to develop the product and the business in Czech Republic, we are really interested in the foreign markets. With our programs, we, in this 3-year period, helped startups 244 times to participate in a global activity, shorter or longer period, to meet investors, to meet partners, to meet the market, to meet the customers, to prove the product if it's good enough for the global markets. As you can see from the map, of course, the most interesting place is still for the startups North America. However, we see that other destinations are also coming more interesting, mainly because startups started to understand that to succeed, you need to be compatible with your market. You don't have to go just to prove yourself in Silicon Valley. Maybe your product, maybe your service is much better serving another country, another market, and it's more fitting. Let's talk about few words about our incubation. Incubation is currently working in the space industry, as I said, and we can proudly say that we incubated 22 startups in Prague and 9 in Brno, and we can see that this is a really nice number, specifically in the space industry in Czech Republic itself. And these companies are highly successful in not only in the space industry. These technologies are also used, let's say, Earth-based. So these are not only technologies that you can send to space or they are connected to the space traveling, but also technologies connected to let's say Earth use and solving issues like the effect of global warming on agriculture, etc. Here are some more detailed explanation about the incubation fields in this space incubator. As you can see, some of them are drone technologies, some of them are simulation softwares or some satellite navigation solutions. As I mentioned earlier, we are working strongly on the field of connecting startups with investors of several stages, not only VCs, but also business angels, individual investors, companies, corporate companies that they feel a need to give back to the community and support technological innovation that makes sense for them. Currently, we are operating in this program CzechLink startup with 150 startups, and this means that that in the side of the investors we have approximately, I would say up to 30 investors. I'm not sure of the number currently, but it means that it gives us a space to evaluate the right connections and find the right choices and matches between startups and investors. As I mentioned earlier, we are not focusing only on Czech Republic. We are global, which means we are not only sending our startups to get successful in global. We are also trying to show that Czech Republic is really attractive place for you if you are a startup from the global world. and it's really interesting for you to come visit Czech Republic and establish a business there, maybe expand there, or even to start a business here. Last year we organized 2 incoming mission events. This year I think it's going to be the same in the autumn. We are going to continue to reach out to the startups to see Czech Republic as a potential business place for them. And I'm happy to announce that my presentation is over. I hope to be connected to you later on, and I'm happy for your questions and the discussion. It can come from your questions. So thank you for your attention, and I'm giving back the word to the studio.
Thank you, Beáta. You and just in time, amazing. Thank you. Thank you for the overview about the CzechInvest and what all you're doing for the startups here in Czech Republic and globally. We have several questions that can be directed to you, but I will leave them after the Q&A session. The next speaker that we invited is Angelo Bulgarello. I said right. Is a managing partner and director of business development in AR Startup Incubator. I think that the name says everything. You are focused on startups, and the last year you were chosen between the best Czech incubators and accelerators. So congratulations, and it's your time now, Angelo. It's yours.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Appreciate it. So, as you were saying, I'm one of the managing partners at the iStartup Incubator, and I'm the person trying and exerting effort in maintaining the meshes of the network we have created. And while we focus as a startup incubator and also accelerator in the Czech Republic first and in the Central Eastern European region, we have a kind of a global reach. So before I start getting into some of the details of today's presentation, I like to kind of touch some crucial points, I think, that make us believe that a connection with Taiwan specifically, it's a great fit for our country. From one end, the Czech Republic is in Europe one of the technological hub that has been growing and developing itself during the last 20 to 30 years. Czech Republic, as Taiwan, has experienced a huge economic growth. If we take the example of the growth in Taiwan after the end of the subsidies from the US, a huge economic growth has been seen, and specific industries have been growing worldwide. So just to mention a couple of industries, semiconductor, for example, from Taiwan is I think one of the biggest industry. And each phone that we use all over the world is kind of carrying some components produced in Taiwan. Not to mention big companies like Acer, Asus, and many others. So we have the same taste for technology and innovation. And Czech Republic also has made huge steps in industries like cybersecurity, which is a great deal also for Taiwan at the moment because of data protection and security of data and information for clients. It's a huge matter. Specifically, the technology we focus on is artificial intelligence. And this is not just coming out of the blue. Czech Republic has put together a strategy to grow and deploy further artificial intelligence technology in small enterprises and different environments, like also smart cities. And there is a proper step-by-step plan to see this growth coming. So we kind of tag along with this strategy, with this national strategy. And we work not only to invest directly or syndicating with angels investors in startup at an early stage, but we also work hard to understand who are the key players in specific sectors from a startup point of view and establish a connection with them in order to leverage this for the acceleration and incubation that we progress with the startup we invest, and our ecosystem of service providers and company. Artificial intelligence is not just an hyped word. It's already reality. We can see it in every single thing we do and in every single service we use with our phone, for example. It could be even the software that is managing like the picture in our phone. Nobody take care about this, but it's something that even people that are not, let's say, well acquainted with artificial intelligence technology use without even knowing it. And the possibilities are practically endless. We focus on specific technologies like machine learning, deep learning, NLP, and imagery recognition. And we also understand that those technology are enabled by a huge amount of data. So it's really important for us to maintain also a relationship with those entities and organizations who are interested to use those data to develop technologies that could be helpful for the core business or auxiliary to the business itself. I've been also reading a lot about the effort that Taiwan has done in regard to artificial intelligence, and we actually appreciate that one of the first hospital around the world was a Taiwanese one that has collected more than 20 years data to develop a technology in imagery recognition to create to scan brain tumors, and is one of the edge technology nowadays. So this is something that we are more than interested in, and any kind of cooperation would be absolutely amazing. Czech Republic has a lot to offer because it's not only a technological hub in sense of innovation and openness to innovate, but it's also a great center of skills. Czech people are really technically oriented, but Czech Republic with its 10 million roughly citizen, it's not just about Czech Republic itself, because it's an hub in Central European in the Central Europe that can attract foreigners with a wide set of skills to live and establish in Czech Republic. So we have been seeing a trend at the beginning of the 90s where big corporations were moving shared centers, centralizing them in Czech Republic, and kind of low-skill jobs were coming in at the beginning, but this trend has completely been shifted because now Czech Republic is having some of the biggest technology centers with high-profile jobs and high skills professional working for even huge corporation from abroad. Just to mention one, Honeywell in the aerospace industry has a huge center in Brno. There is actually a leader in research and development for the aerospace. And specifically also many projects are done and run there for artificial intelligence deployment and innovation. So I strongly believe that a connection should be strength between Czech Republic and Taiwan, because there is a lot to exchange. And saying this, I want to just go through a couple of slides about us so that you can have an understanding of how do we work and how we do things. We, as the name says, is kind of self-explanatory. We are a startup incubator, but we work also as an accelerator. So because we can act in into two different early stage of maturity fields, pre-seed and seed stage. And we are able to invest not only in Czech Republic and Europe, but globally. Our focus is just on the artificial intelligence technology, and we need to see the artificial intelligence technology deployed in the core business or auxiliary to the business model at least. It's our main focus because we are industry agnostic also. So while we prefer certain industries like the healthcare sector, for example, or retail, we are industry agnostic. The company has been founded in 2017, but being operative 100% from June 2018. Currently, we have 2 incubation ongoing. One startup is from UK, another one is from the US. It's a mix actually, because it's US and Bangladesh at the same time. 3 more acceleration are planned to start in August, and 2 incubation planned to start in July. We have a network of 100 plus angels investors that can syndicate with and provide investment to the startup we decide to invest in or collaborate with. Now, there is different from others, and it is not only the focus on the high technology, but it's the fact that we have a team of software engineers specialized in those technologies that can help, from one end, evaluating the startup in order to identify unfair technical advantages, and on the other end, to govern the deployment of the software, of the solution, to be a good fit for growth in the future, scalability, and the next step that the startup is going through. We also provide different kind of services with our service providers, and we are able to guide the startups from many aspects for 2 type of programs that we run in a steady flow manner. So we don't have any batch programs, but we get startup onboarded on a steady flow manner. And we could do this for 6 months to 1 year programs. So those are the technologies on our radar. As you can see, all of them pretty much belong to the artificial intelligence field, but we mainly focus also on augmented reality and virtual reality as a combined technology with the artificial intelligence. As I said, our process is oriented to scout startups from all over the world. So even startups from Taiwan are more than welcome. If any would like to have a discussion with us, we will be more than happy to work together. So our target, as I was saying, is providing 2 types of different programs. One that we used to call acceleration is for a little bit late concept stage or pre-seed plus seed stage startups, where the MVP has already been prepared and specific needs are for the startup to be fulfilled. And what we do is creating a proper project plan with a set of bespoke milestones. We go through with the startups to identify what those needs are. So we do not provide any sort of cookie packaged service, but we decide together with the startup what is needed, and we put together a plan to make those things happen. And this is practically our main differentiator, because we are able to tailor our expertise and the expertise of the mentors and the organization that work with us to be a perfect match for the startups. We also understand in depth the AI technology, and we know that a lot of support is needed since the beginning in order to understand how to work properly with the data and put together the validation models. There are gonna be the legacy for what the product will look like in the future. Expectations that we have with those programs are to have a proper MVP that can be put in the market, have a stable team, and establish the basics for the company to be operating. In terms of investment, we are able to invest tickets that are in average 150,000 euros and can be raised up to €500,000 by our own funds. And then we are able also to syndicate with angels investors and other investors in our network to reach tickets that can be up to 1 million, 1.5 million euros. So that was all for me. Thanks for your attention, and I hope to connect with you soon.
Angelo, thank you for your presentation. Our next speaker is Patrik Juránek. Patrik Juránek is, please could you step a microphone, Angelo, or something, because I hear myself twice. Patrik Juránek is founder and CEO of Startup Disrupt. Startup Disrupt was founded in 2020, so last year. And I like what you are saying, that you are dedicated to on your website, like dedicated to help businesses and tech disruptors to change the old way of thinking in these industries, products and services. I really like that because it's my mission also. They built a global marketplace for startup, and Patrik also is a co-founder of Startup Green Prague, which is part of the largest community platform for entrepreneurs around the world, with 3,000 plus members, as said on the website. So Patrik, it's yours. Thank you and welcome to this event.
Thank you, Peter, and I'm glad that I'm here. So I would like to share a presentation, if it's possible. Hope it's working. So as a startup disrupt, what we are trying to do, not as a startup disrupt, but besides of the startup disrupt, as Petr mentioned, we are as well leading the chapter for Startup Grind, which is one of the largest startup community in the world. And we are organizing community events in Prague and in the second largest city in our country, in Brno. We have over 3,000 members. And besides of the Startup Grind with community events, we are as well created Startup Disrupt, which is going more beyond, even with some powerful tools for startup founders. So what we are trying to build, even with Startup Disrupt and Startup Grind, is one of the largest startup community and community for entrepreneurs, innovators, and investors all around the world. And what I had time to check, I can see that as well we have one of our chapters as a Startup Grind in Taipei, in Taiwan. So definitely, if you are interested, we'll be more than happy if you'll decide to join us for one of our future events. So this is something what we are trying to create. And for us as a Startup Disrupt or Startup Grind Prague, we are trying to build a bridge between Czech Republic and the other world, and to help startup founders to expand successfully abroad. So this is why I believe that this is a great one of the opportunities where we can share this idea together with all of you who are watching us and do something great. As I could see that Beáta went through some of those information about overall how the startup ecosystem is looking like in the Czech Republic. I prepared something similar. So basically, as you can see, we have multiple VC funds and opportunities to get funding. There are as well some corporates and corporate funds who are supporting even one of the largest banks in our country, like KB under the Société Générale, Česká spořitelna, and others. And besides of it, many amazing incubators and accelerators, even not focusing only on the side of some author, but as well we have a great accelerator who is supporting hardware project, which is a Prusha Lab. Maybe you heard about Prusha Research, which is one of our one of the most successful startups in Czechia around 3D printers, factory and production. And besides of it, as I see that one of the topics of this conference or the area which could be interesting for the mutual discussion is a green tech. Definitely what is worth to mention is a startup, Clever Farm, which is here in Czechia, focusing on clever farming. And definitely in terms of ICT, I would mention Digital, which is one of the rising stars in the Czechia around using artificial intelligence in the contact centers for customer service and even for the inbound, outbound. So definitely those are the ones which I would mention. And the last but not least, Zásilkovna, the global name is Paketa, which is basically trying to build the global decentralized network of pickup points where you can deliver everything what you need everywhere where those pickup points are based. So those are one of the important startups which I wanted to mention. And as a startup, basically, as mentioned, Peter, we are trying to build some safe space environment for all of those founders and innovators who to bring their ideas to the life. And we are trying to give them not only the space in terms of the community events with Startup Grind or Startup Disrupt and other partners, definitely worth mentioning Startup World Cup and Summit, which is one of the largest startup competition in Central and Eastern Europe. And I'm more than happy to do the following discussion where we'll have the CEO of this, Tomáš Cironis, where we can talk more how we can support those connections within the startups internationally. Right now, we were able to bring together over 4,000 founders. So 3,000, this was the previous year. This year is over 4,000 founders and leaders all around Europe, which are trying to bring their ideas to the next level. The previous year, we were able to organize over the events which were attended, over 2,600 members in attendees in Prague and Brno. As well, we spread our activities to Budapest, Hungary, UK, London, and Istanbul. And this year, we are as well expanding all of those activities with community building and to the tools which are supporting startups and grow in other markets like Poland, Germany, etc. And our vision is within the 5 years to become another, let's say, global marketplace for startup, which will have at least 1 or 2 chapters on all global geos all around the world. So this is our vision where we are trying to heading, and definitely Taiwan is one of the important markets where we would like to discuss some potential collaboration. We are right now already discussing with other markets within the APEC, so this would be great to discuss those synergies in terms of event strategy and how we can support you. Because the best what we can do is going to the local startup ecosystem. Through our previous history within the Startup Grind, Techstars, and other communities, we are able to find the proper community guide and to really found those connections with the top startups, even are in the beginning, maybe in the university stage with some spin-offs, etc., where we are able to bring them from the ground and help them to succeed and accelerate. From the perspective of our members, we are having many founders from the industry like technology, retail, and finance. This is like one of the top. And as you can see, many like the founders, CXO levels, even we have the part of our membership base where are the investors. Those are some of our previous speakers. We already organized our events with speakers from Singapore, with Carlos Alimurung around the trends in esports and investing into the esports, and with Hua Fintech from One Championship, and definitely more and more we are right now organizing with global speakers on our platform. We are well connected even to other global players who, for example, in the past tried to expand into the Czech Republic, as for example, Uber and Airbnb, where we were in communication. I helped them to be well presented in the startup ecosystem in Czechia. And as I mentioned, we are not providing only the community and those community events, but we are providing those startups, once they will become a member, as well some online tools which they can help with their acceleration. So one of it is a Disrupt Validator, where those startups can basically fill their hypothesis which they have for their startup or project. After that, we can evaluate within the number of minutes if this hypothesis makes sense from the perspective, not only revenues and costs, but there as well perspective of the markets. So I can imagine that even this tool could be maybe interesting for the startups and companies in Taiwan who would like to expand to the market, and they would like to validate if this option and if they have those resources which are necessary to do it right and properly. And after that, track their hypothesis progress. So this is basically the tool where we are trying to help all of those startups to become more data-driven and, put away all of those Excel spreadsheets and all of those manually putting together data, which are not so often based on the reality. We are trying to give these tools so they can track it, and in the time they can proceed and even share with their potential mentors, investors, or even the corporate partners. And as we would like to, during this presentation, I would like to share with you some outputs from the startup report, which is focusing on the Czech startups from Carry to Forum, which could be interesting for you to get better imagination how the startup market here is structured. As you can see, the majority of the startups, so from this particular report and research, where from the financial services and security, definitely what is mentioned the word that the hardware and IoT is one of the area which is standing and growing in our country. And definitely, even if I put there more perspective from our experience from community events and from the startups who are pitching on our events, definitely more green tech startup are coming, and even the startups which are focusing on sustainability like Circle and many others are here as well. The healthcare, we could see interesting startups in the past months, which are right now in the, let's say, MVP phases. And I will be more than happy to share with you details in our following discussion if you'll be interested. In terms of the activity of those startups, many of founders are pursuing and trying to create a new unique service. And I think that this is one of the key specifics of what we as a startup disrupt are looking in the startups, that we are trying to look for this uniqueness for the startups who are trying to build the next big thing and trying to build the global project. So, and this is, I think, is important to share even with all of you, that there is space for putting something together on the global level. In terms of the target customer, there is, let's say, some consensus between B2B and B2C models. But in Startup Disrupt, we have more experience with the B2B. In terms of the primary market, as you could see, many Czech startups are expanding around Europe, but definitely the global level is as well interesting to them. And I know even from the discussions from the founders that APAC is one of the strategic market, but it's not so easy to expand there. So definitely to find the proper partners, and do something together make much more sense here. In terms of the phases, we are many startups from this report. Well, 30% was a seed or early stage or even in the phase of growth, 37%. And this is around the maturity of the startups. And what works great in a Czechia, I think, is this let's say mental support, education, which all other platform which was basically shared from this presentation, or even from Beáta and other gentlemen, ladies in this discussion. We are really trying to help with education, as I can see that in the past 5 years we went through some serious improvement in this area. So that's great, because even more startups are more faster becoming mature and accelerating than before. So it's great timing to right now discuss something together. Information sharing, regular meetings, and coherence. And when the guys in these startups try to ask what startup can imagine as a partnership with what kind of subjects, it's interesting to see that even the foreign corporations and public research institutions are on the great level of potential cooperations for them. So maybe even those areas could be interesting to share and discuss. And this is all from my presentation. So thank you very much for your time, and looking forward for the following discussion.
Patrik, thank you for really detailed insights and great informations. I think that I have also some questions to you after that in a Q&A session. So thank you a lot to join us. The next invited speaker is Tomáš Cironis, director of the largest Czech-based international startup event, Startup World Cup and Summit. I remember when we are sitting in Up 21 Incubator and thinking about the first concept of the Startup World Cup and Summit. I was part of it. And it's amazing that at this moment you are really the global and large event for startups in Czech Republic. And Tomáš was also a mentor last year in the hackathon called Hack the Crisis with amazing results. So it's yours, Tomáš. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon. Thank you for the kind introduction, Peter. And thank you to Czech Taiwan Chamber of Commerce having me or having us. I'm gonna go my presentation, and I hope, it's online. As Peter said, Startup World Cup Summit. I'm in charge of Startup World Cup Summit, and it's a European platform focusing on connecting 3 different groups. First, it's startups, small, medium enterprises, soon to be founders, students, and those innovative individuals who aim to improve our ecosystem, and we connect them to the investors, which means angel investors, venture capital funds, and so on. The primary focus is on EMEA region, which means Europe, Middle East, Africa. And the third big group that we connect in one place are big tech companies, corporations, and so on. Among our long-term partners, there are Microsoft, Oracle, IBM, Google, and so on. We connect all these 3 groups in one place here in Prague, Czech Republic. Startup World Cup Summit, it's kind of difficult and long name. We know, and we are working on that. The reason why it's so long is that we put together 2 platforms or 2 competitions. First one is called Startup World Cup, and the second one is called Startup Summit. The first one, the Startup World Cup, it's a global worldwide startup competition founded in Silicon Valley. And the concept is that there are national rounds across the whole globe, and we are in charge of the European continental final, which means that across the Europe, there are national rounds happening across the year, and the winners come to Prague, to Czech Republic, to compete for the title of the best European startup every year. Also, we cover 3 or 4 more startup competitions like Creative Business Cup, CzechInvest Startup Challenge, and so on, where the winners also get the wild card and the possibility to compete in our European competition. That's the first, the Startup World Cup, and the second, Startup Summit. It's an international conference. Among the speakers or past speakers that we had, there are Tosca Musk, which is Elon Musk's sister. She founded her own streaming service. It's called Passionflix. It focuses on romantic movies. We had Tom Zwick. He's the guy in NASA responsible for the Perseverance landing on Mars. We had Marvin Liao. He's a partner at 500 Startups, one of the most famous and most successful startup incubators. We had Irina Nicoleta. She's the head of growth at Revolut. And Frank Salzgeber, he's head of innovation in European Space Agency. This summit is not only the conference, but also workshops, mentoring tables, panel discussions, one-to-one networking, and all the important stuff that is happening at offline events, which I hope is going to be possible this and upcoming years. There are some difficulties with our name. Sometimes happens stuff like this, that someone makes us as a Startup WC Summit, which means that we are Startup Toilet Summit. And that's one of the more reasons we need to think about improvement of our name. So if you guys have any ideas of a cool new name, I'm open to all the possibilities. The concept or the simple explanation of the Startup World Cup Summit, as I said, there are national rounds across the Europe, and all those winners in all those countries like France, Latvia, Moldavia, Greece, Austria, and so on. Those winners, they come to Czech Republic, go on the main stage in front of the European investors, and they compete for the title of the European champion. It goes together with the huge media attention. It goes together with the ticket to the global final in Silicon Valley, and also with $500K US dollars as an investment prize. The target audience, or who you can meet at this event or at this platform, we aim to all the innovative individuals and everyone who aims to improve our ecosystem. So it's startups and small and medium enterprises, big tech companies, investors, angel investors, as well as VC funds, incubators. I have to mention Startup Yard as one of the most successful and most famous here in Prague, in Czech Republic. Soon to be founders or students who are thinking and forming their idea, and also students as those who need inspiration and they look for new ideas. I got here some pictures from previous years. This is from 2020, last year. We had to improvise and move our event from offline to online in 10 days because of the upcoming lockdown. We had, as you can see on the left above picture, it's Elon Musk's sister. On the right side, there is our mayor of Prague, Zdeněk Hřib, which is, I think, he's kind of famous at Taiwan because of his cooperation. And all the startup competing in the competition, they had to be online as well as all the spectators. And I believe that this year we could also, we can again meet in person, offline in Prague for the next upcoming summit. Those are pictures from 2018 and 2019, so that you could have a vision how it looks like when there is no lockdown and no pandemic. The most important thing when putting together these events or platform is always food. So if you are thinking about having such an event, don't forget about really awesome food. I got here a video as a sum up of the 2019, and I'd like to ask Mr. Mašek, as you could play it, please, now.
It's a good environment for learning, both the speakers' opportunities and then the networking around it.
They've built this into a European summit, not just a regional competition.
Everybody's really curious and everybody wants to make a difference.
You learn a lot from the mistakes that other people have made, and that's one of the reasons that I'm here, is to help contribute to my experience and the things I've done well, and the things that I've learned from would help entrepreneurs.
You can pretty much find what you are looking for under one roof.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mimley.
So yeah, this is how it looked like in 2019, and I hope it's gonna look like this in 2021 and the upcoming years as well. Just quick intro, who's behind Startup World Cup Summit. There are two venture capital funds. First one is called Air Ventures, and the second one is called Up21. We, as a VC funds, we focus on a seed, post-seed, and Series A startups. In the best scenario, your startup has ARR 300K and above. Our ticket ranges from 200K to 2 million euros. We are industry agnostic. We just aim, or we are looking for those guys who are innovative. In the past 3 years, there have been already 22 funded projects. Thanks to Startup World Cup Summit, we evaluated more than 2,000 of them, and the amount of money already invested is 6.3 million US dollars. And yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you again for having me, and here are the ways how to contact us or myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Tomáš, for your presentation. I was one of the attendees in the Congress Center in 2019, so I can prove that the atmosphere there was exactly as you show in the video. So our last speaker in the Czech on the Czech part. I don't know if you hear me. Probably yes. So our last speaker on the Czech side is Tomáš Vránek, founder and CEO of ICE Industrial Services, which is a company and a huge player in automatization industry. I spent with them 1 year, and I can say that if Tomáš bite in something and say that he will change the game, he really does. So and at this moment this year, so probably he want to enter in this startup ecosystem, and I'm really expect Tomáš your part. So it's yours.
Thank you so much for your invitation. I hope you hear me all right and you see my presentation. Well, I would like to start a little bit about us, who we are. We are also a startup company. We started really in a garage, as this picture shows. Today, it was about 8.5 years ago, and today we have done about 700 automation projects all around the world, and we have about 160 employees. And we are one of the leading automation companies in Czech Republic. We are the largest industrial automation software team in Czech Republic, and we are one of the key designing engineer offices in Czech Republic. And we don't do our projects in a garage anymore because they wouldn't fit in. And we deliver projects to companies like Scania, Opel, Porsche, and many others all around the world. This is an example of robotic production line of engines in Germany. Basically, what we do is that we automate industrial production. So we are able from fully manual production turn into fully robotic production, where we can save up to 70% of the footprint of the production facility of our customer, and our lines produce more than 3,000 parts per day. We deliver to, let's say, interesting brands all around the planet. You can see them here. And where we are mostly in which branches of industry, we deliver to automotive industry. We deliver special machines to various production industry, like washing machines and so on. Lately, we cooperate with company TGW in logistics and manipulation. We delivered interesting solutions for Amazon, for Decathlon, and others, where our solutions can sort 40,000 pieces per 1 hour, which is incredible solution where you are able to sort 8,000 complete packages automatically in one warehouse. So these are interesting solutions, and we are also in a health business and a food and beverages and others. What we are as a startup company, we also searched for an investor on the beginning. We found a financial investor, a private investor, and then later on we got an offer from a strong partner from company MTX Group, which is one of the largest family-owned businesses in Czech Republic. And so we switched from a financial investor to a strategic investor, and our, let's say, mother company became also our customer. So we are now cooperating in the group, delivering automation solutions for our group, but this makes only about 10 to 15% of our turnover. And for most of our projects, we have to search abroad. Well, we are seated in the middle of Czech Republic, so we are able to deliver to 30 countries around the world. Taiwan is for sure one of interesting destinations where we would like to increase our cooperation. And what we are currently working on is that we would like to start innovation and startup hub in our district, which is basically the right middle of Europe, in district of Vysočina, in small city of Žďár nad Sázavou, where is historically seated several machinery and automation companies. And in cooperation with our mother company, we are searching for new innovations, opportunities in the field where we are, where is our core business. So basically, we have this mind map where we are thinking about what we can do, and when we can search for new innovations and deliver new innovations and cooperate with new startup companies to help them grow. Our limitation, or where we would like to focus, is that everything that you can see and hear in the scope has something to do with automation, which is something what we grew at, and we would like to develop this into the future. Something what I would not like to skip is our values, which is what we are trying to be innovative in our products. We are also trying to be innovative in doing our business, and we are probably the first Czech company that officially canceled hierarchical structure, and we are running self-managed teams and organized, let's say, organic structure. And we believe that we are a value-driven company, that the values are those who define our actions, and so we would like to work as a team with our partners. We are always morally right. We want to do our things professionally and flexibly, and what is maybe the most important for us, that we want to have fun with that. And so I believe that also anyone part of this event, we are happy to have fun together. So thank you so much for this chance to present what we do, who we are, and maybe let's talk about the cooperation in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Tomáš, for a really quick lightning review of ICE Industrial Services. I know you well, so it's not new for me, but for you others, it's very interesting to look more and more focused to ICE Industrial Services. Thank you all for joining us in your presentation. I have two questions from the event website on Czech Business Chamber. What I'd like to ask you, we have a few minutes for the Q&As before we pass the ball to Taiwanese side. And the one question is really interesting. Beáta, is probably to you. What are the strategic advantages of the Czech Republic over the Slovakia and Austria?
That's a great question. I would like to try to answer it somehow politically correctly and nicely, because I'm Slovak citizen, so I cannot say something that it would compromise my country. Strategically, I think there is something in Czech Republic. It's really hard to describe, and Czech Republic is really goodly monetizing it. There is some kind of power. It's driving the innovation, and it's not just money. It's not just university. It's not just the number of universities and the number of technically, let's say, skilled people. It's not just history. It's everything together. So if I compare Czech Republic with Slovak Republic, I see that there is some kind of the big force that makes Czech Republic. I don't know how to describe. Maybe the best would be say to have more fuel to put in innovation, to have more energy to run the long way, and it comes back to the things I said, all in together. So there is not just one thing that, let's say, we have more investors, or there is more people in the universities in the tech field or in business field. It's all in together. However, I would say in the Slovak Republic, I see also that there are good examples of how somebody can make a change. With Austria, I would say this is a totally, absolutely different mindset. So I think compared to the two countries, Czech Republic is more self-made. I think that's the best word for that. Self-made at anything. There is an obstacle, I'm gonna solve it. No matter how, I'm gonna find a way, and I'm gonna prove that I can do that. I think Austria is more based on tradition of in many sense, and I think maybe Hungary is something like the same, based on the similar background. So this is what I see as a good strategic advantage for Czech Republic. History, people, education, and the attitude, and of course it comes also from outside, the money from the investors, the programs from the government, the strategy of the government, for a country for the future, the behavior of the corporate world in Czech Republic. All of this comes together, but it wouldn't be possible without this force that the companies are having. I hope I did give some background for this question to answer.
Thank you. We have an answer on the website also, which I like. Is it cheaper than Austria, closer to Germany than Slovakia, and actually a lot of promising startups in Czechia, traditional machinery. So it's basically what you said. Okay.
Yes.
For you guys, I would like to ask you. You joining us today. So, what opportunities are you seeing in the collaboration between Czech Republic and Taiwan side? Pick a word, someone.
Yeah, maybe I can kick in with something from my end. So, as I was saying during the presentation that I did before, I think that there is a lot to exchange in terms of. Can you hear me, guys? Yeah. In terms of information and technology connected with data. While we have a huge pool of startups that are working on edge technologies here in Czech Republic and are currently trying to expand to other markets, the Asian market is definitely, for many of them, a very interesting one. And this is definitely one of the possibility for collaboration, because while certain organizations may have some challenges that those startups can sort out, they also have some experience, some information, some data that can be collected and used also by those companies and those startups to improve the technology they're actually coming with. So I see a lot of synergies between emerging companies from Czech Republic and industries in Taiwan, and also all the way around works too, because I know that Taiwan is a pretty cheerful environment with entrepreneurs And there is also a landscape of startup that is definitely interesting. So this mutual exchange will be something definitely interested. So I think those 2 points are definitely something that it's worth exploring more and more.
We can help. I hear myself in echo. Could you please, Mr. Mache? Super. We can help with the introduction to the investors and corporate side here in Central Europe, especially for startups thinking about expanding to Central Eastern Europe or the whole Europe. And also we do the same thing with helping European startups expanding to Southeast Asia, especially to Indonesia, Malaysia, and Japan. Thanks to Jetro office, we got this cooperation, and I'm open. I'm happy to help this with Taiwan Chamber of Commerce as well. So that's from my side.
Yeah,
okay.
I would like to add... okay. So dissimilar what Tomáš mentioned, what we are able to do, basically we are able to help as well the expand not only into the Czechia, but as well regarding to our global hub. We are able to help them all around Europe, Central and Eastern Europe. This is where we are right now based with our current representatives in besides of the Czechia, Slovakia, Poland, and other countries. And I think we are able to help them. So let's say some presentation on the local market, but as well with some consultancy, how to think about Czech customers, and do some quick analysis regarding to our validator tools. And on the other side, of course, it would be great to discuss like how we can together startups, Asian companies in expansion into Taiwan, because this is something what I would like to learn more. What are the opportunities there and how we can help them? So this would be great on our side to discuss. Thank you.
It's one question here that is really, I don't know if we can answer it, but you see some changes in the investment. What coming now after the COVID times? It changed something that last year what we passed with the COVID.
If I may, maybe I will answer this one. This is the easy one. Changed everything and nothing at the same time. I think that investors did not pull away the car. They did not stop. However, I would say that the investment changed in the way that how much time and effort goes into the preparation phase. Not just due diligence itself, but I see that the communication between the two sides is much longer. And more we hear at the matchmaking when we are putting together the investor and the startup, that they are not only looking for the basic relationship between investor and startup, give me money and give me some return. They are looking also for some higher meaning, some higher, let's say, technological cooperation, some reason to cooperate, and not only on the human level, but also to find something that makes sense for both of them. So they are looking for more strategical partnerships. And from the side of the investors, I see that they are more looking for high skilled or good material startups and especially founders, that they have a high they see them as a high value leaders and people who can work on themselves. So I think that these days the investment into startups got beyond the classic due diligence and some kind of valuation calculation and so on. It started to be more about creating some long-term value and creating some strategic business together.
We passed the picture and micro to the Taiwanese side. You probably helped companies to establish businesses in the Czech and the local market. And one question, because they watching us and also in the Taiwanese side. So from them probably is the following question. They're interested to know what are the key obstacles that you're facing when you're localizing your product or service to the Czech market.
Not doing your homework. Not doing your homework. That's all. I see that the biggest problem is when you think that you know and you are, pardon the word, but you are so unknowledge, not to use other words for that. You have no idea what you don't know. You think that the world is waiting for you and the red carpet is gonna be ready in the by the landing as you come to the country, and everybody was waiting for your product only. And this is I don't like to make it as something like magic. It's not rocket science, unless it's rocket science. But it's really not hard to do your homework. Do your business plan, the real one, not the one who is not the one in one page and three lines. And I see many times that startups are doing this when they are approaching expansion, that they think that the less they know, the better, because I cannot prepare myself for everything. Why should I stress myself? I'm going to handle everything as it comes. And when they are coming back, they are many times saying, and the good thing is that they are now sharing that, yes, you have to be prepared. Otherwise, you're burning just money. If you are going for your first expansion trip or business trip without preparation, it's just a really expensive, non-fun vacation. That's all it is. So that's not a hard thing. Just do your homework, ask people what your homework should be open-minded, and keep the criticism if something is not really that you are pleased to hear. That's all. These are the problems that their startups facing. Anything else is just business. Okay, in my opinion. Maybe Angelo? gentlemen have other opinion.
I actually liked, Beáta, the sort of mention that you did to a couple of lines from Mark Twain that I love personally, and this is that the biggest danger comes from not from what we don't know, but from what we believe is true and reality is not. And I believe that market penetration, and specifically in countries like Czech Republic, comes with a really important thing. And as you said, exactly, do your homework. But your homework should be done also in understanding the way business is done in a specific country. Understanding at least a little bit of the culture and how things work in the country you want to expand. Because we don't have to forget, and we often do forget it, the business is made by people. And this kind of people-centric approach should be used while trying to penetrate a specific market. Everything starts with the people, so focus on that first. That would be my suggestion.
Okay, anyone else would like to react? If no, I'd like to say something. Maybe I'd like to promote the Czech Republic at the Taiwanese side. We as a Cocuma are collaborating with great technology companies that are global, and they are establishing at this moment huge offices here in Prague. And because the remote collaborating was accelerating last year, we see that the Prague and the Czech Republic is the great living standard, really smart people, and great environment for the startups. And it's could be really the heart of the startup world, not only in Europe but also globally. And also, if you Tomáš said that they establishing in Žďár nad Sázavou another innovation hub, helping startups to grow. So I think we are ready to help you and to connect with you from Asia to here. So this is the time when I will pass the micro and picture to the Taiwanese side to my co-moderator from there, John Wang, which is the next moderator. And he will open the session from the Taiwanese side, and we are all looking forward for all the information what's coming up. Thank you, guys, to join us here in Czech Republic for your presentation, and we look forward for the Taiwanese startup ecosystem.